Hey guys, in this video we're going to be discussing 10 different camera angles that you can use to enhance your films. Depending on how long you've been a filmmaker, you may or may not recognize some of these angles we're about to talk about. The goal for this video is to show you guys when to use some of these camera angles. When is it appropriate to use, like an extreme close-up or a cowboy shot, or what's the proper way of doing coverage of a scene for a film that, you're shooting. Every film that you watch is basically made up of sequences, and then sequences are made up of scenes, and then scenes are made up of shots that are basically made up of camera angles. So camera angles are really important to your film. So why are camera angles important? Camera angles are important because by shooting multiple angles, you can help tell a story or an idea to the audience that is watching your film. The angles that you choose to shoot basically drive the story. Different camera angles convey different emotions. In filmmaking, we have various types of camera angles that can help push the narrative goal for your film, going from the basic shots to the more advanced techniques that you can use. So let's quickly browse over the camera angles we're going to cover in this video. We have the long or wide angle shot, we have medium shot, tight or medium close-up, extreme close-up, cowboy, Dutch, low angle, high angle, OTS, and bird's eye. So starting with the first camera angle, wide or long shot. What is a wide shot? A long or wide shot is typically captured on a wide angle lens, such as a 14mm, 18mm, even 24mm focal length. It's most often used to establish new locations so that the audience can have an understanding of where the scene is about to take place. It also establishes the character in your scene within that world. Wide shots can also be used to portray an idea of loneliness or display the subject's insignificance. In a wide shot, you show the subject's full body, so in order for something to qualify as a long shot or a wide shot, you need the full body length. If you use a lot of long shots or wide shots in your film, this can give your audience a feeling that the subject in the film is distant and isolated from them. All right, next up is the medium shot. Medium shot is basically anything from waist up. This shot helps you better see your subject or for the viewer to feel more familiar with the subject. A medium shot is typically what we see when standing close to another person, so it's used whenever there's back and forth dialogue. This way the viewer can also pay attention to the body language of the subject as well. Right after the medium shot, we have the cowboy shot. The cowboy shot is right between a long and a medium shot. It's basically from the middle of your thighs up. Traditionally, we've seen this camera angle being used in a lot of the Western movies back in the day, but today we also see this type of camera angle being used to show more details about someone's outfit, or maybe even wanting to reveal a little bit more of the surrounding area in the shot. So that was a cowboy shot. Next up, we have the tight or close-up shot. A close-up shot basically shows, from shoulders to the head of your subject. A close-up shot, can reflect the emotion that the subject in your film is feeling at the moment, or tell the viewer that the dialogue happening between two people is really important at the time. It's tightly framed, and it takes up most of the character's head in order to reveal all the details going on in the shot. In order to get a tight shot, you should be using anywhere between a 75mm focal length, going up to a 100mm lens. After the close-up shot, we have the extreme close-up, aka the ECU. An ECU shot is used to even draw more attention to an area of your image. This angle draws even more importance to what the viewer should be looking at in the story. So just keep in mind, if you need to do an ECU camera angle, you have a pretty tight focal length to make that happen. Okay, so the next camera angle we're going to talk about doesn't have to do with the specific type of focal length that you use, but just mainly has to do with where the camera is placed in proportion to where your subject is standing in the frame. So next we have the low camera angle. A low camera angle is used to portray that the subject in your frame is a person of power. The camera is typically positioned below the eye line, low on the vertical axis. It can also be used to show a sense of wonder and awe that maybe your hero in the film is feeling, because your subject is small in regards to the size of their surrounding. It makes them feel vulnerable, and it causes the viewer to relate to the subject. So right after that, we have the high camera angle, which does the opposite. You see this camera angle being used in a lot of films to indicate a sense of power that the subject has over the other. If you're looking at your subject from this camera angle, it's going to portray them as weak and inferior. It makes your subject look vulnerable and small. Next up, we have the Dutch angle. It's not necessarily with the positioning of the camera, but the angle that you're shooting with. You know, a Dutch angle indicates that something odd is happening or about to happen in the film. It shows that the person is feeling fearful, confused, shocked, or that something isn't quite right. The reason this camera angle gives this type of emotion off is that the horizon in your frame is different than all the other angles we've talked about thus far. Dutch angles create a cinematic environment that creates suspense and a sense of thrill. This is less about conveying a sense of space rather than making your audience feel disoriented. Right after Dutch angles, we have the OTS shot, which stands for over the shoulder. If two subjects are having a conversation, you shoot past the person's shoulder, which is in the foreground. This helps give your audience a better understanding of who is talking and who is being talked to. It gives you the perspective as if you're the person being talked to because of the eye line that is established in the frame. So that was the over the shoulder shot. Next up, we have the bird's eye view, or another term for it is an aerial shot. An aerial shot is when the camera is located above, overhead, capturing the action below. Nowadays, you see this being captured with a drone or a really expensive crane. You see this type of shot being used in films where the location plays a really important role in the scene. You don't have to have a drone to get this type of shot. Sometimes you just need to have a really tall structure that you can shoot down on. But nowadays, drones have gotten way more affordable to shoot with, so it's just safer to have a drone to do an overhead shot if you need to. One thing to keep in mind is that sometimes the more camera angles you have in your shot may take away from, the effect that you're trying to convey in your film. Before you want to throw in another camera angle, it's good to ask yourself, is this going to add to the story that you're about to tell? Or is it going to take away from the feeling that you're establishing? Amateur filmmakers tend to do this a lot, where they film a bunch of camera angles that don't really add, something important to the overall story of the film. Angles don't always necessarily enhance your scene, so it's something to always think through, if it makes sense to go and get that extreme close-up shot, or does it make sense to do a drone shot right here in this scene. Now, something else that you'll learn as you dive deeper into filmmaking is the 180-degree rule. It's basically this imaginary line that you draw in the middle of your scene, and you only allow yourself to shoot on one side of the plane. You have to be careful to not cross that plane, as it confuses the direction that the audience, is expecting to see the characters in. You want to be shooting both subjects on a consistent side of the frame where it's evident that they're talking, to each other. If you shoot on the wrong side, it's going to make it harder for the viewer to know on which side of the frame is the subject talking to. The only way to break the 180 rule line is to have a 360 shot where you're able to circle your subject. One more bonus rule to follow when it comes to shooting from, multiple angles is to follow the 30-20 degree rule. The 30-20 degree rule basically means that, if you're shooting an interview and want to have a second camera angle and want to cut between those two angles, you need to move your camera, at least your B cam, at least 30 degrees between cuts. So you have to basically move your B camera 30 degrees away from your A camera. This way, it looks slightly different than the main frame that you're shooting, and you don't want your interview to look the same. When you do the 30-degree change, what you want to do next is add 20mm to the focal length that you're using, just so the framing of the shot doesn't feel like you're just shooting from two different camera angles that look the same. Upcoming filmmakers, that's one of the first things that you do. You just shoot a bunch of interviews, and you just want to make sure that they look somewhat cinematic and make sense in the camera angles that you're using. So now the question is, how many camera angles should you be shooting in for every shoot that you do? Are you doing a music video, a commercial? All that really depends on the number of sequences that you need to shoot and how many scenes are in that sequence and how many shots. Here's just a quick example of a music video that I shot where I used an array of angles. The result of learning these camera angles leads to you as a cinematographer or filmmaker to understand how to give, your audience a dynamic viewing experience. The more you study these camera angles and how to use them, the more engaging the final product is going to be. So there you have it, guys. I hope you found these tips super helpful. If you have any questions, please comment down below. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to see more videos like this, it would mean a ton if you would subscribe and hit that like button just so more filmmakers can discover resources like this. If you're an upcoming filmmaker, I have some free filmmaking assets attached down below. No strings attached. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.